Hey there, how are you? I'm Brad Dollar, music producer, engineer, and coach. Thank you so much for joining me today. What you're about to see is a series of videos that I originally posted on TikTok to give more of a sense of my process in the studio when I'm producing and engineering. What I hope that you'll take away from it is one perspective into how to create the conditions for music to grow. I cover a lot of different things in these videos, including getting sounds in the studio, how to actually produce songs from scratch and bring them to a point of completion, and how to work with people and create a really powerful dynamic that makes lasting and wonderful music. So sit back, check these out, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to comment and feel free to email me at mgmt@braddollar.com. Be happy to chat with you more about this. Enjoy. Come and join me as I produce and engineer an album in an awesome studio. Here's day one. First, we have to fly from Nashville, Tennessee to the Oakland Bay Area. I got to see some beautiful sights as we pulled in, and then got picked up by the one and only Lady Lou and the Bird Dogs from Montana. As we headed out to Panoramic House at Stinson Beach, pulled over for some beautiful scenic views, and then started loading in, only to have more beautiful scenic views. We spent most of the day just getting settled and getting set up. I got settled in the control room where I'll be for the next 2 weeks, and patched a bunch of sweet stuff in to make great sounds. Got some sounds, took in the view, and called it a night. See you tomorrow. Here's day two. Woke up, got some time outside in front of this beautiful ocean before heading down to the control room to get going. We did a little ritual to set our intentions, got right into recording. Here's some of the setups I'm using. Lots of great tube mics like C12s, U67s. This is my banjo recording setup. A 251, pair of mics for the acoustic guitar, another C12, and a U48 paired with a Neumann M62 on the upright bass. With everything set up, we got right into working on the bones of the song, fleshing out the arrangements, and making them as good as we possibly can. I patched a few more things in, like this awesome compressor from the 1950s, and spent the rest of the day recording in Pro Tools. We got some great sounds and took those 2 songs we started pretty far. Once we were done, turned everything off, called it a day. See you tomorrow. Here's day 3. First things first, we need some light and some power for the mics. Might as well get a little light and power from the outside too. We started out by working on the rhythm section for a new song, and then did some editing. I had a tiny issue with the interface, so we took a break before we got back into recording for the rest of the evening. After dinner, we started working on vocals, and got right into recording the leads. Communication is essential, so we work a lot of things out before we press record, so that when we are rolling, we're getting the best takes we can. And before the day was over, I started to set up to record guitars later in the week. That's it. See you tomorrow. Here's day 4. All right, let's definitely start this day with some coffee. Get some lights on and get some volume up to these incredible Barefoot speakers. Seriously, I love these things. We got right into recording and arranging a new song, and definitely got outside to get some of this beautiful view. This little guy saved the day when we hit a snag on the headphones and allowed us to keep recording well into the evening. Once we get good takes on the bones of the song, then we start layering in instruments that'll help tell the story of the music. We spent the rest of the night doing just that. And before bed, I geeked out and hooked up a few pedals for guitar tracking this weekend. That's it. See you tomorrow. Here's day 5. If you haven't guessed it, coffee is a critical ingredient to making music in the studio. There's nothing like some high octane to supercharge your music. Delicious. With it being day 5, everything is pretty much ready to go. Once we got everything turned on, we got right into working on 2 new songs. My main goal with these 2 songs, and pretty much all songs I work on, is to trim the fat and make them as connective and concise as possible. Once we got good takes, we started doing overdubs, like this vocal, which I absolutely smashed through an LA2A. Shout out to my favorite mouse, the Logitech MX Ergo. I love this thing, which makes working in Pro Tools so much easier. We kept working on the songs throughout the night, and by the end of the day, we had 2 songs fully recorded, fully overdubbed, and ready for the next stage. We listened back, relaxed, and called it a night. See you tomorrow. Here's day 6. With the lights on and some coffee in our veins, we got right into work on 2 brand new songs. They were just rough ideas when they started, but by the end of the day, we had 2 really great songs to keep building on and finishing to the end. We wrote out some charts for the songs, which made recording a breeze. When the first song was done, we took a little break outside, something I highly suggest every time you're making music. The charts in the second song were critical because each person's rhythm is a little different. Once all the chords were locked in, the band practiced the song until it felt natural for them to play. And with the help of this beautiful API 1608 console, we got a take that not only felt great, but sounded great too. After that, we caught the sunset and wrapped it up for the day. See you tomorrow. Here's day 7. Now that we're a weekend, we're really starting to hit a stride on everything from our pacing to how well things are being played and the sounds we're capturing. I love this part of the process because we can really start to zoom out and think about the songs as a whole and how they connect to each other. This sets us up to make better choices about the layers of overdubs that we're about to go super heavy into doing, which is exactly how we spent the majority of the day. Here's a view from my little corner of the control room where I spend most of my time when we're in overdub land like this. Even with all the toys and fun gear to play with, this room still makes it really easy to focus and get stuff done. And after a marathon of recording, we hit save and call it a day. See you tomorrow. Here's day 8. Like every great day in the studio, it starts with coffee and turning everything on. Got a lot of vocals to cut for this record, so in between working on new songs, we spent most of the day recording vocal arrangements, new parts, leads, that kind of stuff. Getting harmonies to sit together right is one of the hardest things about working on vocals. So whenever I can, I like to have those who are singing work out the parts together to make sure everything is right, locked in, and sounds awesome. Once we've got the parts, my main focus when I'm recording vocals is to make sure the performance is solid and that the sound of the recording is in support of the song. That includes everything from watching preamp levels to making sure compressors don't squeeze too hard and even creating ambience using delays and echoes so the track comes to life for the vocalist. From here, we spent the rest of the day doing vocals and got the bones finished for a new song. See you tomorrow. Here's day 9. Today was all about getting the bones recorded of the last 2 songs that will end up on this new album. With the lights on and the guitars tuned up, we got right into working on the arrangements for these 2 songs. By the middle of the afternoon, we had the frames of these 2 tunes recorded into Pro Tools, which allowed us to get right into the super fun part of overdubbing on top of them. One of those overdubs is Slide Lap Steel, which sounds awesome through this Earthquaker Devices gray channel, which I just tried, and a Fender Super Reverb. We spent the rest of the day tapping into this sweet analog gear and recording things like upright bass, acoustic guitars, and fiddles. You know, I'm so grateful to make an album with gear like this. It makes the whole process so fun and helps the end product to sound incredible. That's all for the day. See you soon. Here's day 10. With only 2 days left here in the studio, the pressure is on to make sure we get all the essential pieces in the recording. So we spent the day making sure all the critical instruments are in place before we move on to more flavorful overdubs tomorrow. What I'm most focused on here is making sure all these little pieces fit together while still leaving room for new stuff to come in. By the end of the day, we moved on to some stuff we've been super excited about recording since we got here, like this Mellotron, like running stuff through this Atari MX5050, and other cool synths, like this Prophet 600, which makes an awesome dark layer to tuck under the tracks. We spent the rest of the night doing keys, then wrapped it up. See you tomorrow. Here's day 11. After a quick little hello to the sun, we got right into the day's work of accomplishing many of the overdubs still left on this album. The 12-string guitar is one of those overdubs, which I love using to make choruses pop out more and feel more dreamy. I loved using these mag equalizers. They have a really cool way of exciting both the top end and the low end of guitars, which really came in handy. We spent the whole day layering in part after part, making sure we have everything we need to help the album sound as awesome as possible. Then we spent the rest of the night recording keyboards and pianos and other atmospheric effects layers. That's it for now. See you tomorrow. 12. This is our last day in the studio together before I head back to Nashville and the band heads back to Montana. So it's a marathon to make sure we get everything captured, everything tracked, and to make sure everything's right in place so I can start mixing it. In between songs, we took in as much of this beautiful view as we could, which gave us inspiration to finish the album strong. One of my favorite things from the day was finding this really weird piano miking position, which made it sit in the track in a really cool and ambient way. As we got near the finish line, we grabbed the rest of the little stuff we wanted to get, like percussion samples and electric guitars. After that, it was a wrap. I'll talk to you tomorrow when we pack up and head home. See you soon. 13. After 12 days of working tirelessly on 11 awesome songs, it's time to leave the studio. One of my favorite parts about this process was having the space and capacity to set everything up and just go full steam at the songs until they were done the entire time we were there. In this chart that I made to track the progress of the songs, you can see exactly how much layer and detail work went into putting the songs together. It's the accumulation of all these little pieces that create a memorable experience for the listener, which is why recording like this is so fun. With everything finished, I zeroed out the console and we started to pack up. This is actually the first time I saw the front porch since we got here 12 days ago, if that's any indication of how deep we went into this thing. With the van packed, the band drove me back to the East Bay where I'll stay until I fly back home to Nashville. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on this journey so far. Stay tuned to mix the album with me. Talk soon.